A viewer asked me a question about, I have a video on adjusting your throttle linkage in here and setting the throttle cable. And he had, I guess, done that, and he said he had dropped a nut and it went inside his handlebar. Well, one thing about these handlebars is that I don't believe there's anything inside. All your wiring and cables and everything are on the outside of it and wire tied. So there shouldn't be anything in there. The nut shouldn't hurt anything if you can't get it out. You could always go get another nut. I'd just go to the hardware, and all the stuff, he didn't say which nut it was, or I could check and, you know, see what the size is. But they're all small millimeters, so if you had to buy a whole line of them just to get that one, it would probably be better than going to a dealer. And if you want to try to get it out and you have this off, one thing I would try is, I have a piece of wire, they call it piano wire, and it's made for linkages. I used to use it for my radio control stuff. So if you have a hobby shop anywhere near you, they'll have this thin wire, and it's bendable. And what I would do is take two magnets and put one on each side of this to make this magnetized. This is steel wire. That's what you need. You can't use a piece of like wiring for a car or something because it's all copper. You need steel wire. This is out of a computer, the hard drive. You break it apart and they have two magnets in there, and these are strong. These are amazing. I think they call them rare earth magnets, which are, you don't want to put them together because they're hard to get apart. But what I'd do is I'd stick one on there and stick one on here. Now this wire was, I think I cut it and made a linkage out of it, but you can get it in longer lengths, and you're probably going to need a little longer than this. And now with them on there, you could take it and you could real easily slide that down through there and wiggle it as you go and try to get a hold of that nut, because this I can feel on the handlebar. It's just got a little magnetism to it, so it is like a magnet. One other thing you can use to try to get that nut out of there is compressed air. If you have this side off, take that side off over there. I've never had mine off, so I don't know what all is involved. But if you could get it off, what you do is you want to take this end over here that's open, and you want to put like a pillowcase over it. You don't want to use a plastic bag because you're going to be shooting air through there, and you want it to come out and go in the bag to catch it. So you want to use like a pillowcase. Put a pillowcase up here, tie it off real tight, and you have this opened end. Now the other end, you're going to put an air gun. If you have an air compressor, you can put an air gun in there. Then take a plastic bag and wrap it to seal it, and then blast the air. It should come through and blow that nut out. That's another thing to try. I come across compressed air to find parts because I was doing the valve setting on my bike, and one of them little bolts I dropped down in the bike, you know, down around the motor, this and that. Well, I have those little extended magnets, you know, on a handle. I had that, and I always call Lois out to help me because we work together to try to get it out. I have a bigger magnet from Harbor Freight, one with a long handle. We had that. We are going in and out of everything, trying everything we could. Couldn't find it. Well, it drives me crazy that it's laying in that motor. I want it out of there. I don't know where it's at. I'm sitting here like, what do I do? So I got this out, left my compressor pump clear up, and this is one of those extended arms, has a rubber tip, and I just started, and I would go upward all through my engine. I'd blast a little bit of air and then move it and blast it, move it, blast it. About the fourth or fifth time I did that, I heard it. It flew out, hit the floor. Took the other magnet, found it. So that's another idea you can do. You can you know, just like I said, get a piece of wire if you can find it, but it has to be like steel wire. I think even some hardwares would sell like a roll of steel wire that is more bendable. This is called, I think, piano wire, and it's you can bend it, but it's kind of like It doesn't bend real easy. Now it'll flex enough to get down in there and try to get that nut, and you have to go real easy, you know, and you might think you have it and slide it out real easy. You may get it. You maybe even want to bend a little bit of a hook, but this wire is brittle too. If you bend it too far, it'll snap off. So you just want to bend it a little bit. It might help catch on to it. And that's, like I said. Another way is if you have a shop vac where the dirt don't go through the motor. You can't use like a vacuum for the house where you have a hose, because all that dirt goes through the motor, the fan. You want to use a shop vac. Another thing is, if you try the compressed air over here, have a shop vac running. It'll help suck it through. Put the shop vac there, then you want to put you know, the plastic bag around it to seal it. Put some tape on it, go over there, have the shop vac running, blast it with air. That would help push it and pull it at the same time. So that's the best I can say. The only other thing would be is to take the handlebars off and try to lean them and shake it out. But if you don't get it out, I wouldn't worry about it, because it's not going to hurt to lay in there. It's not going to hurt anything. And just find a nut. Like I said, I just go to the hardware and go through the metrics and see. See, I don't know if it was on a bolt or where it was or what size it is, you know, but they're always usually metric, everything on this bike. So I hope that works. In your comment, leave another comment and tell me if any of that worked. But that's what I would try first. Some viewers have asked me about how I'm coming with the idling on the Suzuki, and I really haven't had time to work on it. I have been working on my old mower so much to keep it running till I get the new one, and I had told about Lowe's. It takes them 6 weeks to get it. So I have to get the grass cut, and there's no way I'm using a push mower. We have a push mower. Ain't no way you're going to cut all this with that. So they had told me a good while back, June the 7th. Well, she told me they don't deliver on Sunday, and that's the 7th. This is Monday, so that was yesterday. Well, yesterday Lowe's called. He said, you're going to be home between such and such. He said, I got your mower on the truck, I'm bringing it over. So I said, yeah, I'm going to be home all day. So yesterday it came, I got the mower, so I put the old mower up on the deck and I covered it up and everything. Now I got the new mower. So here's another little problem, but they took care of it. So I got the Craftsman T140. I looked at John Deere and everything else. I like this one the best, so I got it. Now, one problem. They have your operator's manual and everything in this bag. They leave these outside, and they have this hanging on there. This is a zip lock. They don't close them. They're all open. And I've been different places, and I've seen that. These are hanging on the back of the thing with all your stuff in there. It's full of water. And I even told Lois, I said, look at that. Why would they do that? I mean, they were on every mower. Now I think they take them in, finally. But it was like, oh. So the guy brought the mower. He got it off. He put it on the ramp here. I didn't see any operator's manual. And I'm like, I got sidetracked. He left, and I'm like, I looked behind the seat, and it looked like plastic with a wet rag in it. I pull it out. Here's my operator's manual, soaked. I mean, it's, how in the hell? I laid it out to dry. Well, it was soaking wet. I took it right over to Lowe's. I said, we just had this delivered. I said, up to the, service desk, and I said, this thing's soaked. Right away I thought, they're going to have to order it, you got to wait for it, I'm going to have to look through this wet one, you know, I want to make sure I'm doing everything right. So she said, no problem. She said, I'll print you one out. Well, they've had so many people, they have a machine there, and so she said it'll only take a few minutes, you know, and she put in what mower we have, this and that, and the machine does it, and she printed all the stuff out, and it's stapled just like, you know, what came with it. Fantastic. So while we're in there, I told her, I said, well, we'll be back, you know, I said, we want to go and look at, do some shopping and that. So we were so impressed, the wife bought a new washing machine. So, but we asked them, how long is it going to take? They said a month. So we said, okay, because the old one's still working, you know. I told her, why don't you just get one now? So it's going to be coming. So when the guy left, Lois said, you're going to start it up? She wanted to see it running. And I said, no, not yet. So I go all over it, and what I'm going to do is install an hour meter first, because I want to know how many hours, when to change oil and all that. And I'm going to go by their book. And plus, I want to give it a complete wax job. I mean, it's a mower, but I don't care. I'm just that way. I might even do the clay bar thing on it. And all the raw metal bolts and nuts, I'm going over with that stuff I showed before about it's a liquid. I got it from work, have no idea what it is. It came in a 55-gallon drum. And let me get something. This is a piece of metal I tested that liquid on. You can see how rusted, and this has been sitting out there for quite a while. It's been hanging here. And you can see on this part where I coated that, very little rust compared to this. That stuff is amazing. It's like water. It's not a shellac, it's not a coating, it must soak into the metal. And they used that on certain rolls up there that were metal that were going out, that they used to put like grease on them. I guess this company don't want that grease, because then they got to clean it off. So they used this stuff. They'd paint it on. They have a roll sitting up there that had done more work than any roll they ever made. So they got it back for scrap. They completely coated it with this. Then they put a silver coating over top of that. And that thing's on a stand out there, and there's a plaque telling all about it. And it's been there, I think it was there when I started. And I had 35.5 years in there. So that protected that. They had to never do anything to it. And it's amazing. They probably put a couple coats on. And it takes it a while to dry. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, going over the mower. I checked oil, they put oil in it, but like I said, I want to go everything. What you want to do is, I know you should check the tire pressure. I want to check, see if the blades are tight, but what I'm going to do is take them off first. Now the old mower is the same 46-inch cut. It has 3 blades, this one has 2. But these being new, I'm going to take them off and I'm going to coat them with that stuff. It's going to be warm today and sunny. I set it out here in the sun, it'll soak in and dry. I did my old ones. I always wire brush them, you know, and then you get more on. Well, there's always grass on it, and you know, when I go to sharpen them and balance them, my old blades, I took a wire brush on a thing, angle grinder, and I went all over, cleaned it to the metal, perfect. And then I sharpened them, balanced them. I coated it with that stuff. The next time I went to sharpen them, I took it off. I just scraped it real easy with a hand brush. That all come off. All that grass and everything and stuff that was loaded on the blades, it was clean metal again. It's like, that stuff is the stuff to use. But there's no way to find out, because somebody else bought the company. They're shutting it down. Now I hear they're taking all the machinery out and everything. That 55-gallon drum's in there, and it was you know, so you can't even, if I knew somebody that was there, I could ask them, can you get the name off of it? Try to find out, you know, do they sell smaller, you know, containers of it? But man, that stuff is amazing. I've used it, and I got more than half a quart left, but I use it real sparingly, because once it's gone, I can't get any more. But that's where I'm at now, so hopefully I get this done, and then I, have it for cutting grass, and then I can look at my bike and try some other things. If that don't work, I'm going to bring the Harley out, put the Suzuki back there, and start riding a Harley, because I got to have something to ride in the summer. I've been seeing bikes going up and down here, and it's been warm. Drives you crazy. A few last things I want to show on this mower I just got, the Craftsman T140, is here. This is really good. These lights, the front lights, just, you turn them about a quarter of a turn and they come out, so you can change the bulbs. Well, you take the two lights out, then with the shield over it, this goes in. There's a slot for the shield, or on the shield for this. You take it off, you lift the hood of this up about 45-degree angle and just lift it off. It's made right here with a slot. When it's down, it can't come out. When it's up, it can't come out. So you just put it into there and lift it, and that thing comes right off. That is so nice for cleaning or doing anything on it. My other one, you got to take 6 bolts out, I think, to get it off the old one. So that's a nice, unique thing they've made. And I got my hour meter on. I put it right on a spark plug. I put the end of the wire down here, put 2 pull ties on it, wrapped it 5 times, put 2 pull ties here, and what I did was I went up here and I put a little bit of black silicone on here and then put some on top, and I taped it so it'll hold it till it's dry. Then I can take the tape off. But if I ever want to take this off for some reason, that silicone will pull right off. And I put it over here, keep it out of the way. Down across here, I put a gob, and now I'll be able to come right out here on the side and use double black tape, or sticky tape, double sticky tape, and put it right there. But I want to make sure it's going to be, I think the wire can go right under here, up there, and it won't hurt it. And that'll stick right on there, and then I'll have my hour meter, and that'll tell me when to change oil and stuff like that I want to go by. So I'm leaving that there till that silicone gets real dry. It's hot today, so it should dry. Another thing I found is the seat. I had the seat up and I was waxing it like I said I was going to do and everything. There is one part here you can just unscrew this, take it clear out, move the seat and put it through which hole you need. So there's just one thing where you can take the seat right off or adjust it, whatever you want to do. That's a unique feature. So they've upgraded this some, but my neighbor was down and we were talking about it, and he noticed something, and I'm going to do it before I mow. Down here right by the tire is your steering coming across. It's up through this hole, and they have a cotter pin in it. There's no washer under there. So I'm going to take the cotter pin out, put a washer down over there, because I can pull this up and there's room for it. There's room underneath that. I want to put a washer on there and then put the cotter pin back in. I'm going to do the same to the other side. There should have been one on there. I think there should be. And that's it. But man, is that nice to get that cover off. That is so easy. And so far, everything looks really good. And that should dry, and I got it just about all waxed and everything. I want to do the wheels, and I got all the little bolts to go over with that anti-rust. But after that, I should be able, maybe even tonight, cut grass with it. So now you can see I put a washer under there, put the pin back in. Now all I'll do is take that acid brush with oil and put a little oil over that for lubrication. I had been using a lot of grease, but with the mower, all the grease or dirt sticks to it. So I'm just going to wipe it with oil. And on this oil extension to change oil, my neighbor and I was looking at it. We figured how it goes in. You have this little hole in this thing right here that comes outward, but that is in there. You could I wouldn't leave it and run it with it in there. You might lose it, but it does. You have to just work it up in there. these two sides right here, you got to spread out and get it kind of flat, and you can put it up under this steering arm and under the wiring, and it goes right back in there. So you'd have to break this loose with a wrench, put that in there, and then use it to drain. So that thing, I thought it's useless, but it does work. Figured it out.